In this video, I will be explaining how to create or how to set up Kali Linux in VMware. Because this is a course for beginners, I'm going to be showing you one of the easiest ways to get Kali Linux up and running using VMware, and you can follow a very similar pattern or path using VirtualBox. So let's get started. First of all, of course, I need to download the VMware image. To do that, I'm going to go to the Kali download page and I'm going to scroll down where it says Kali Linux VMware. I'm going to click on the link and that will redirect me to another web page. The first image here is what I want, Kali Linux VMware 64-bit. I'm going to go ahead and click on this to download. Now, this is a 2 gig file, so it's going to take a little bit of time to download. Once it downloads, go to wherever you downloaded it. And here I'm going to be using a software called 7-zip to extract it, because if you've noticed, the extension of this file is 7z or 7z. So not every software will be able to handle this file. 7-zip is the software that I like to use because it can handle pretty much any compression type or any archiving type. So I'm going to right click on this, select 7-zip and select extract here. Now this is going to take a while to extract because, like I said, this is over 2 gigs in size. Once it finishes, you go into the directory where you extracted it and you find the file which has the VMX extension. So if you haven't set up your Windows in a way that will allow you to see the file extensions, please change that using the view options. Once you do that, you'll be able to see the extensions of the files, and there's quite a handful of files here. The one that I want is the one that ends with .vmx. I'm going to right click on this and either open it directly with VMware Workstation, or if you are using VMware Player, you can open it with VMware Player. I personally use VMware Workstation. It's a paid software. I think it's worth the money because I use it extensively and it helps me a lot in my labs and in the trainings and teachings. So I personally use VMware Workstation, but it's completely up to you what you want to use. If you do not want to pay for VMware Workstation Pro, you can use a trial version for 30 days. So throughout 30 days, you can download Kali, set it up, go through the course, finish all the labs, and you should be good to go. All right, so I'm going to choose VMware Workstation, and this is going to open up a new window with VMware Workstation Pro. Now, notice here that the network adapter says it's in NAT mode, N-A-T. And this is one of the options where you can use either NAT or bridged in VMware or in VirtualBox. The one important thing that you need to keep in mind is that whatever you use here in Kali, you want to be using the same setting in your other virtual machines. So if here, for example, I have the Metasploitable 2 machine, which is going to be my target, for my Kali VM to see it and be able to communicate with it and scan it and hack it, the Metasploitable machine should have the exact same setting in the network adapter. And as you can see here, it is set to NAT. Okay, so both machines need to have the same setting. Either both need to be bridged or both need to be NAT. In my case, I'm using NAT. So let me go back to Kali and I'm going to try and start it. Because this is the first time we started, you're going to get a pop-up message that says a lot of things, and if you don't know what to do, answer I copied it. So just go ahead and click on I copied it and you're good to go. Now here, you either wait for a few seconds and it will automatically load, or you click on the mouse to be captured inside Kali and you hit the enter key. And give it a few seconds for Kali to boot. Once it boots, the logins are Kali. These are the default logins for the Kali VMware image. All right, so let me type these in. And I'm logged in. There we go, perfect. In less than 3 minutes, we have Kali up and running. So let me open the command prompt and do some small tweaks and configurations and show you what kind of experience you might expect when you first launch Kali. So I'm going to open the command prompt and I'm going to type a command that says IPA. This command gives me the IP address of Kali. It's the same command that you can use in Metasploitable, for example, if you want to get the IP address of Metasploitable so you can try and hack it. So here I'm logged in as the Kali user, not as the root user, which is the most powerful user. So as a normal user, there are some commands that I might not be able to run. We're going to be talking a lot, by the way, in this course about the different types of users in Kali and in Linux in general, and why I might not be able to run some commands. So here I'm logged in as the Kali user, not as the root user, which is the most powerful user. So as a regular user, to run privileged commands, you need to use the sudo command before the command that you need to run. So in this case, for example, it's going to be sudo ifconfig. You will be prompted to enter your password, and this is your Kali user password. So I'm going to type it in, and here we go. Okay, now some of you might be asking, okay, what if I wanted to completely switch into the root user? I don't want to be typing the sudo every now and again. By the way, when you use sudo, you'll be asked to input your password once in the session. And then after that, you're no longer asked to resubmit your password. But if you still think this is inconvenient, you can use the following command to switch completely to root, and the command is sudo su switch user, and you'll see that I have now a prompt as root. I am no longer the user Kali, now I am the user root. So I have the full privileges to do whatever I want. And if I want to exit this and go back to the Kali user, I can type exit. Okay? Now, one of the first things that you would want to do is change your password, because you're logged in with the password of Kali, which is common across every single VM image that gets downloaded, and you want to be able to change this password. And the command to do that is passwd. So you enter your current password, which is Kali, type a new password, and then retype the password, and you now have a new password. Some of you might want to add their own user. So some of you might decide that I don't want to use the Kali user, I want to use my own user. So how do you do that? You use the add user command. Now this is a privileged command, so before you do the add user, you need to use sudo. So I'm going to type sudo add user and Tarek for my username. I'll type a password. I'll fill in these fields. They're not mandatory. You can just hit enter if you don't want to, but you need to hit Y at the end of this. And now you have a new user added. Okay. Now the newly added user does still not have the privileges to use the sudo command. So I need to give that privilege to the new user. And to do that, I'm going to do sudo add user and the user that I just added, and sudo again. And what this says is that I want to give sudo privileges to the user Tarek. And here we go. It says the user is added to the group sudo, done. So now I can use that user to run commands as sudo. And that's it. So let me log out now from this user and switch to the Tarek user. So I'm gonna go ahead and log in with my username and my password. I'll open a command prompt and let me try and see if the sudo is actually working or not. So let's type sudo ifconfig. I need to submit my password, and here we go. It works. Now, one thing that you need to change if you are using the Kali user, which I forgot to mention earlier, is that you need to change your SSH keys. If you don't know what SSH is, don't worry, we'll be explaining this in the sections to come. For now, just go through these commands step by step, do exactly what you see on the screen, and later on you'll understand what all this means. But in a nutshell, this is so you can make sure that you have secret keys that are not being used by other users that have downloaded the same VM. And to do that, I'm going to type cd, which means change directory, and I'm going to go into a directory which is /etc/ssh, and I'm going to list the contents of this directory using the ls command. Then I'm going to create a folder called old keys. Now notice here that I got an error that says permission denied, and this is because I forgot to use the sudo. This is something you need to get used to, by the way. I always forget to use the sudo, but it's something that you learn how to adapt to very quickly. So I'm going to rerun this command using sudo, and then I'm going to move all these keys into the folder. And all I have to do is run a command that reconfigures my SSH keys. Sudo dpackage -reconfigure open SSH server. And here we go, we're done. Now again, if as the normal user, I just decided I want to get into the root prompt and run everything from the root user, you still can do that. So you do sudo su, and now you are a root user. And if I want to go back, you type exit and you go back to your original prompt and original user. So this is it, the easiest, most straightforward way to get Kali up and running in your VMware or VirtualBox. Now that this is done, let's move on and carry on with our course.